Are we live? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Welcome to Red Chair Podcast. Today is Friday, March 29th. I am in my little podcast studio. I was gonna work early today. If you're new to the channel, I'm an Uber driver. And I have a daily vlog channel. And I sometimes go live. I'm tinkering with going live. Tinkering. Ooh, how does that look? I need a better... Okay, before I talk about the encyclopedia from 1986, this is all about my memories. I realize I just go on and on about things that I remember from my childhood, from my early adulthood, which is when I got this microphone stand. I used to do stand-up comedy here in South Florida. I'm from Miami. Look at that. Look at that. This, well, let's see. Let me see if I could show it on camera. This mic stand it's an average mic stand. There's nothing special about it. It's black. You know? It screws onto the thing here. Right? Got a little, it's a pole. It's got a little thing here to adjust it. Now this thing broke. The adjustment knob thing broke. So it no longer creates any tension. I just realized that you guys can't hear me when I have the microphone away. Basically, I should have thrown this thing away years ago or gotten a new one. There's nothing special about it. I could go to Guitar Center right now and get the exact same one or something similar. Or fuck Guitar Center. Why am I thinking Guitar Center? Amazon. I bet you there's an Amazon Basics version of this thing that'll knock your fucking socks off. But this is the one I bought. This is the one I hosted hundreds of comedy shows, or at least dozens. And I used to run my own comedy room in Sunny Isles. It's by Bal Harbor. Sunny Isles by Surfside. The Newport Beachside Resort. They have a restaurant there. It's still there. It's called Kitchen 305. And I used to host my own comedy shows, showcasing. There's a lot of open micers and a lot of feature acts that I knew growing up here in South Florida in the comedy scene. So, I got the hotel to pay the headliner act. So everybody got some stage time. I created the flyers for it. I promoted it. I would go to the Improv, do open mics, and then, I would meet comics, and they would be like, hey, can I get a spot at your show, Kitchen 305? Who runs that show? Well, I run that show. This was MySpace days, people. This was MySpace days. Can I get your MySpace? This was top 8. For those of you too young to remember, MySpace was before Facebook, or for a while there, they were at the same time. But around 2009, everybody pretty much migrated to Facebook because there was really no reason to be on MySpace. Everybody you knew was already on Facebook. And your parents weren't on Facebook in 2009. So we got fooled. We got fooled, man. We got rid of the cool social media thing because everybody's just like, you could do it's basically the same shit, right? You could do more on Facebook. They got the little chat messenger thing. It's easier, but it's all the same. It looks all the same. Oh, man, I'm thinking I have these hard drives here. This hard drive dock is what's running my USB mic and everything from it. By the way, is the audio okay? I haven't even checked. Gone on these rants. What was I talking about? Let me actually check the fucking chat. See if I'm. Where's the chat window? By the way, I've been doing this. This is a 13-inch freaking laptop that's on its last legs, okay? Excuse me if I'm an old man and I'm blind and I have to like squint to look at it, because it's also, in order to connect this to the monitor I have to put it in, so I'm not an old man. My vision is getting worse, but. All right, I'm just checking for there you go, the sus chat. Where's the sus chat? Is anybody watching this? You know, by the way, if you just tuned into this, because maybe, I don't know, maybe in the YouTube algorithm it puts it as a live stream somewhere and somebody just clicks on it because they're like, I want to know about an encyclopedia. I only have a little over 1,000 subscribers. I call them suscribers on this channel because I can be a little sus, if you know what I mean. Okay, the sus chat. Oh, I didn't want to bring up the sus chat. Oh, by the way, this is all, I don't know, if you go on a rabbit hole of the last 4 episodes I've done, I'm also learning OBS. Yeah, let's just move the background. I'm learning OBS, and it's a trial and error. I don't have anybody here to help me. I would like my nephew Austin or Kai to come here and help me. Okay, somebody's okay. Brandon Diaz gave me the 100, so we're off and good. All right. Forget the chat. This is not about the chat. What was I talking about?
I was an old man complaining about Myspace. In my day, social media was for cool people, and then your parents got on it.
But that's basically what happened. Everybody moved to Facebook, and then people stopped using MySpace. And then now everybody left Facebook because all of their parents and their grandparents were on it. It's like, even the other day, it's interesting. This ties in. I picked up a lady and her 2 kids at the airport the other day, and I drove her to Miami Beach. She was visiting her parents. And she went to New World School of the Arts, like me. And she was like, we were just small chat, you know, on the way to the airport. And she was like, oh, yeah, what high school did you go to? I told her, I went to Christopher Columbus. She's like, oh, I don't know that. It's a private school in South Miami, or more Westchester. She's like, oh, I went to New World. And I go, oh, I went to New World for college. And she's like, oh, really? And she's like, I'm a part of the alumnus foundation or something. She's like deep into, she was on the first class of New World School of the Arts, which she told me was, she started the school started in 1988 as a high school, as an arts high school. So 88, 89, 90, it was a 3-year high school. So 80, 88, 89, 90, 1990 was their official first graduating class. I attended from 96 to 99, I believe, or 97 to 99, something. I did 3 years. I graduated high school in 96 and then went to New World for 2 years, and then I got my core classes done and I got my AA, whatever. This is all very interesting, but whatever. It was interesting to talk to a person that was familiar with where you went to school. She says now that the college, the New World College, which was created later, is very prestigious now. It wasn't when I was there, to be fair. It was like we were the bastard stepchildren. The high school was the priority at New World for the musical theater kids especially. The visual arts as well. They would all go on to go to, prestigious art schools like Pratt and Ringling in Sarasota and Cal Arts. What was the other one? RISD. The fashion kids would go to RISD. So at the end of the trip, as I'm getting her luggage, we were just reminiscing about a New World School of the Arts and stuff. And she told me, "Oh, I guess so. Is on the website? Is there?" Because she told me there was going to be an event, and I'm like, "Oh, I can get it on the social media, right, or on the website of the New World." And she's like, "Oh, I think they have a Facebook group," and I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of deleted my Facebook like 10 years ago." She's like, "I know, like everybody." So people my age, I don't know, maybe some people my age are still on Facebook. I don't know. I haven't been on it in a long time. But basically, people my age and a little bit younger kind of separated ways with Facebook because of their parents being on it, with the grandparents, all that. And then it coincided with Instagram. So then it's like, you're on Instagram. Why do you need to have a Facebook? Like, it's fine. Now, TikTok is a whole new world, you know. And to be honest with you, I like TikTok. I like TikTok. I go on it before bed a lot. I catch up on videos. Sometimes it's TikTok. The reason TikTok, I think, is popular is because it's taking advantage of what they're calling clip culture, where it's like there's so much content out there. Just look at my channel. No one's going to watch this fucking live stream from the beginning to the end. Or maybe maybe like 50 of you are out of my 1,000 subs, right? But you would never watch this channel unless it was clipped on TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Instagram. You see a clip of something. That's how I found out about the Cat Williams podcast. TikTok was like, they're the early adopters on clip culture. You see some clip trending on TikTok of a conversation or something, like when that Bobby Altoff chick talked to Drake. You first saw that on TikTok and you're like, what? Like, what the hell is this? Who's this chick? And why is Drake on a long-form podcast, what appears to be a long-form podcast, with this unknown chick? And then you go to her YouTube channel. Now that's one of the biggest podcasts in the world. She's got great guests. And I think she does a great job. I'm into that podcast. TikTok takes advantage of clip culture. So when I saw the Cat Williams talking shit about whatever, Steve Harvey or some shit on TikTok, I immediately went. And after that, I immediately subscribed to Club Shay Shay. I watched the entire thing. It was amazing. If you haven't seen the Cat Williams podcast, that kicked off 2024 as one of the GOAT podcast episodes of all time. It's just crazy. It even came back now with all these P. Diddy allegations and federal raids. A clip of, he even says Diddy. He says Diddy, and then he says, they're coming after you or something, or they're all will be revealed. Let's see. Practicing changing the. Should I? I'm just talking. So I feel like I like the idea of changing the setting, the camera, and not having the camera so fixed on a podcast. Like, if I need to change the angle, I can just move the camera. Fuck it. And you know what? If you see that it's fine. Now we know we're in this side of the podcast. I don't have text on this one. What are we talking about? See, this is the part that I would be like, Austin, go in this window and type in whatever. Type in social media or TikTok. So I like TikTok. So anyways, the lady at New World, I'm going on and on. This is like the worst incohesive story. I even forgot what I was talking about from the beginning. Nobody's on Facebook. New World School of the Arts. All right. I guess I was talking about this mic stand. So the MySpace days, I was running my own comedy club every month at the Newport. And it got popular, man. A lot of the people that were middling for headliners at the Miami Improvs down here in South Florida, the Miami Improv, the Fort Lauderdale Improv, and the West Palm Improv, a lot of the local comics that were feature acts, that means they're not the opener, they're the middle person, and then you go to see Bobby Lee or Bert Kreischer or whatever, Theo Vaughn. I put the guys that were middling from South Florida to be the headliners. That means they can do more than 25 to 30 minutes. They can do a full hour and practice doing a full hour. And a lot of them came back and told me that now some of them are professional comics in LA and New York and stuff. That my Kitchen 305 shows was one of the first shows. That's why I got to get Lisa here. Lisa would be a great guest. Lisa, come on the pod. Lisa Corrao. I've linked her YouTube channel. She does a cooking channel now on YouTube, and some of my subscribers subscribed to her as well. And Willie Q, my first guest, Willie Q. We could talk about the Miami comedy scene, but whatever. I'm just tooting my own horn here. Like, yeah, my show was a springboard for all those Miami comics that went on to do great things. No, but they did. Years later, they did appreciate it. They're like, hey, man, you putting me on after, the showcase shows you were doing for an hour. That was the first time they got to practice doing an hour, or one of the first times they could practice an hour. Because that's the thing about being a comic is you can get on all these open mics, but you're doing 5 minutes, 10 minutes at tops. Sometimes you'll find like a weird art gallery that's doing it's not really a comedy open mic. It's just like a music, poetry, slam poetry open mic, like at a coffee shop or like a bookstore, a local bookstore. And a comic would be like, bro, they're not expecting comedians. They're not going to be like timing you, like he's doing 5 minutes and 5 minutes only, and then I'm giving him the light. They would do, some comics would do, including myself. I did a lot of coffee shops. I would do those little open mics because I knew I could probably practice doing longer time, 10, 15, who knows? Maybe if I was killing at the frickin' coffee shop in Delray Beach with like 15 people in it and I was killing it, maybe the owner of the fucking event, the open mic, would just let me go, do 20 minutes. But whatever. So this is the reason that I have kind of fond memories of those stand-up comedy days, and this mic stand was the one I would bring every show and do. So like I for sentimental values, I don't want to throw it away. I tried fixing it, right? Because the problem is this tension thing here. There's a little ring in there that snapped off, right? But before then, the problem was that this thing just swivels. This thing swivels. It's not locked. That's why you have to like hold it a certain way. And I tried super gluing the swivel part, like with hard cement glue, so that it would stay fixed, and I can unscrew the holder. And the bottom line is, this is such an uncomfortable fucking mic stand. It should have been thrown away years ago, but I'm still keeping it alive because I can't stand to throw away. I feel like I'm throwing away that part of my life by throwing it away. And then sometimes I think you're overthinking it. You're being over sentimental. Just fucking chuck this thing. You don't need it. It's not. And what if I want to do a stand-up show at some point? Like, oh, you know what? Let's do a stand-up. Let's start a stand-up room. I ran one with Willie Q for a few years. You never know when an opportunity might pop up again. But just so far removed from that because I just don't have time to do any of that. I want to get one that clips onto this desk that I'm sitting in. That's called the Elgato Low Profile Arm. And it's going to be like right here. So it's going to be kind of out of frame, and then I'll attach the mic to come up. But they're like $100. And for me to like save $100, I know you see me on these Uber vlogs that I make $300 in the fucking day, and you're like, bro, you can afford a fucking $100 mic arm, bro. I know, but all the extra money I I have goes to just like paying fucking bills, man. Like I need to make that fucking money to pay bills, to stay current on my fucking auto insurance, all this shit. You know. So sometimes, and when I have some extra money to save up, I like to help out my girlfriend in the DR. You know, she's very unfortunate. You know, she lives in a very poor scenario. Um, you know, so she's like like last month, I saved up and I got her a refrigerator. She didn't have a refrigerator. She was living all this whole time without a fucking refrigerator. So we found one there for like $300, and I told her, okay, I'm gonna send you some money after a few good nights. So I sent her like $70 here, $70 there, $70 there, $200 there, whatever, and she's able to get a refrigerator. So that's where I spend my money if I have extra money. But I need the mic arm. I also want to get, I feel like, I know this mic sounds amazing, but the interface that I have it connected to is not the best. I have it like cranked up all the way to 10. And it sounds decent, but I'd like to have a little bit better control of the quality, because this is a really nice mic. And I want to get the, it's called the Rode Podcaster Duo or something, whatever. The Rode Procaster something. There's a big one and a small version that only does 2 mics and then a USB mic. So it's perfect for this setup, because for the time being, clearly it's hard even to get one guest. Why am I going to get audio interfaced for like to do 8 guests or 4 guests at the same time when, I'm barely able to do it with one. So the Rodecaster Duo, they're like $500, $400 or $500. I forget. I think you can get them on sale for a little cheaper if you find them on sale. All right. So what am I going to talk about? I need to get out tonight, man. Here's why I'm live streaming today instead of working. I'm going to come out a little later. It is 6:07 p.m. Yeah, I may get out there by like 7:30 or 8 and just do airport and work late night, because last night I came home, charged at Dadeland, and I thought my day was done. I got here, I ready for bed and everything, and then at 4:30 a.m. my alarm goes on. And I forgot I had scheduled a private airport ride at 5 in the morning to the Miami airport. So I had to get out of bed, put my pants back on, put my shoes on, get all my shit together. I was like ready to go to bed, and I forgot. And the lady had already paid me. She had already Zelled me. But it was a short trip. It was like Gables to the airport. No big deal. So suffice it to say, I slept in today, and I wanted to do Miami Beach in the daytime, but I didn't. All right. Willie's on the chat. Me and Willie finally coincided. I think he was off today. All right, let me go to the red chair now and talk about the encyclopedia. My idea was to, when I'm in the red chair, I'm not going to be able to control the computer, so it's got to be fixed. Maybe I should just, why do I need this one? How about just the red chair only? I'm going through all my settings. Okay, see, this is the one I'm going to use to go over some short clips. I'm going to do that. I actually had one that I wanted to do on the Sneakers podcast, but I think I'm just going to record that and put it on TikTok. I'm not going to do that on a live stream. All right, look at this. Wow, look at that angle. This is like the, okay, let's just do whatever we want angle, you know, like, okay, let's just bring this video up, you know. I want to teach Austin, and I think that'll be a valuable lesson for them to, I mean, because look, people, I can go to StreamYard.com and do the generic live stream that everybody does, and it'll be easy to use, and you'll see the chat and the comments and all that. But you know what? That's just not my style, bro. I want to keep it weird. Like, how about just a podcast with a head right there? The other thing I notice when I listen to podcasts in my car, and I actually want to see the expressions on the people talking's face, is that most podcasts are like, it's a person right here, it's a shot like this, and another shot on the other side like this. But it's a medium shot, right? You don't see a close-up of the person's face or anything. And I always end up on the iPhone, like zooming in to see like the person's face, to see their expression. Well, let's keep it real, Mario. Why do you do it? Because I listen to that Whatever podcast, and some of those OnlyFans girls are there, and they're I want to see if they're hot or not. God. That needed a susso-meter, but I'm not ready to do the susso-meter. It's right there. All right, let's go to the red chair and talk about the 1986 World Book Encyclopedia. Oh, fuck. I'm not in frame. This is horrible. Man, this is horrible. Look at the way that chroma key is affecting that blue background and the globe. This is like the weirdest thing that you'll see on the internet today. But it kind of looks cool. I kind of want to keep it low tech like this. I also have, hold on, well, let me actually, and you know what? I had a freaking remote control for this damn camera. The chroma key on the chroma key on this camera sucks to get rid of the green, so I'm just gonna leave the green. This is so funny. Remember that I put a YouTube short where I said my podcast is ugly. It's an ugly podcast. All right, I was gonna put the entire encyclopedia set on this shelf. But Willie can attest to this. When we did Willie's podcast was when I nailed this. Now, this part, one side of the shelf is nailed onto a wooden stud that's there, and that is on there good. But the other side is like falling over, like where the globe is. It's like barely hanging on, and then I kind of forced it with a power drill, and I got it to. It can hold weight, but I wouldn't put the entire encyclopedia set on it. Because just even carrying this stack of encyclopedias from my downstairs room to the studio, like they're heavy. Like I was like struggling. I was like, holy shit, I have a bad hip. I'm gonna like fucking fall down the stairs carrying these things. Hold on, let me remove the chat from the. All right, sorry for the dead air, people. When there's dead air, that's why live podcasting is very difficult, and it probably shouldn't be the first thing you try to do when you start a podcast. Like, I did those inside dashes where I would set up a camera and I would talk, and then I would export the footage, sync the audio, and do it in Premiere and blah, blah, blah. And I can do that with these. Using the OBS and everything, I could just record it, and then I could, clip out all the dead air and kind of edit the podcast. But I just feel like, bro, that takes so much time. And there's something magical about going live that I can't put my finger on. Like, you guys know this is real. This is happening now. Like, there's no, like, pre-thought of thing. Like, I don't know what I'm going to say next. And there's something scary about that. And I will tell you this. As an OG Joe Rogan Experience listener, my favorite era of Joe Rogan podcast was the Ustream live stream. They used to stream on Ustream. I don't know if anybody knows that. The Ustream, which I think, oddly enough, I Googled it. You know who bought Ustream? I think it was like IBM or something, or Microsoft. One of the giants just gobbled it up. Like, this thing is too powerful. Because Joe Rogan was probably getting numbers on Ustream that you would not fucking believe. And it was like Brian Redband, and they would start having, they had guests, and Redband would interrupt and say the stupidest shit in front of like a serious guest, like fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson is talking about physics, and then Redband's talking about fucking farting in the car, or fucking extra sauce at the Olive Garden. It's like it turned it, but it was fun. Right now, you look at Joe. I mean, I still listen to it. I listened to the episode yesterday with I listened to the Kurt Metzger one, and I listened to, what was the other Joe Rogan that I listened to yesterday? Whatever. What was the last one? Fucking Donnell Rollins. That guy is awesome, bro. Donnell. Love Donnell. Donnell Rollins. I love it. I love Create Magic. It's Donnell and Charlemagne the God. You can go down a rabbit hole. Just type Charlemagne the God or Darnell Rawlings, The Breakfast Club, and just go in order of all Breakfast Club interviews with Donnell Rawlings. It's the best content ever on YouTube between comedy content. The Ustream days for Joe Rogan, where it's like, fuck, it is live. And when you were watching it live, you're like, whoa, this is Joe Rogan talking live to someone. And they were also smoking weed and shit. There's like, and they were drinking on camera. It could get hectic. The other live thing was around the same time in the Pasadena Ice House, Red Band had that live set up in the green room of the Ice House Chronicles. That and the Joe Rogan Experience they coincided for a while, where you would have this live content that was, I don't know, it's just something special about it. And I know it's hard to do. Not a lot of people do it on YouTube as it is, that get good numbers. I think they were talking about how the H3 guys probably do it the best, right? They do like 4-hour live streams, and it's really well produced, and the graphics. And if Ethan Klein talks about some video, there's a team of people behind them, and they can pop up that video, and that's great. That's great. It's great content, and it's amazing. Timcast IRL does it, right? That's more a political show, right? Political, talking about the news every day, but they have a live guest, and they have the 5-camera setup or whatever, and it's consistent every day at 8. And who else does it? Patrick Bet David's starting to do it. A lot of the live streamers, obviously, what's the other one on YouTube that's popular? That Fresh and Fit. They do a live stream podcast. It's hard. Most podcasts that you see on YouTube are not live. They were recorded or produced, and then if something went wrong in them, like imagine you say something, I don't know, offensive to whoever, whatever, or you say something you weren't supposed to say legally, you had somebody that wasn't public, like about a celebrity or somebody else you were talking about, and you say it on a live stream, on a podcast, you can go back and clip that out, right? Or edit around it. But on live, you're like, done. This is it. This is what you get. It's live. We're doing it live. And I think that's why people like streamers and this whole streamer generation. Like that Kai Cenat guy. Forget how many concurrent lives he gets, but it was like ridiculous. Like 100,000 people are watching him at the same time. Like that's a football stadium. So anyways, I like live. And then I don't have to edit it. You don't want to sit through a freaking 2-hour podcast of me rambling, and there might be some dead air here and there. Then you know what? I mean, I just got to work on it. But dead air is dead air. It's going to happen, especially if you're alone in a room and you have to manage everything. All right. I'm not sure. This is an Amazon Basics mic stand. That it's like I don't know what they call them, a T stand or something, but I don't know. It's kind of uncomfortable. I'm not sure I like it. I mean, maybe the way to go is to get those. After I bought $200 microphones, to get those Rode and DJI clip, lavalier clip, and just have it connected to a source. Maybe that's the way to go. I don't know how long those batteries last, though. I don't know if you could do a full 2-3 hour podcast with those, but I'm sure you could figure it out. All right. Oh, before we do the encyclopedia, look, I just found this box. I wish I had my remote. I had a remote controller where I could zoom into the products, and I for the life of me, I'm trying to fucking look for it, and I don't know where it is, man. And it's really pissing me off. It's like a remote control the size of a freaking credit card, and I could point it at this old ass camera, but it serves a good purpose. I could zoom in. So I don't have to get up and show it to the camera. Creating more dead air. You know what? Fuck, bro. I need a mic that I can carry. Damn it. All right. It looks like the The broken mic stand saves the day. All right, what you're looking at here is a Buzz Lightyear Burger King toy from Toy Story 1 in the packaging with the documentation and everything inside, unopened, untouched. Now, to be fair, collect all 3 toys. It's Toy Story when it was released on video, right? Any Disney nuts? Huh? Any Disney nuts got this out there? You got this? You got a Buzz Lightyear from Burger King in the freaking plastic? I don't think so, brah. But it doesn't stop there. What would Buzz Lightyear be without motherfucking Woody, bruh? Woody in the plastic with the little advert, whatever, the little paperwork in there. Check it out, bruh. Burger King. Burger King, home of the Whopper and home of exclusive Toy Story memorabilia. When did I know Toy Story came out in 1995. Now, for you young people that don't understand, there used to be like a little pecking order of when movies would be available to you. First, you would see them in the theater. And then, depending on what year it was like a little window. Sometimes it was 6 months, 5 months, 4 months, I don't know. And then it would go like, coming to VHS. Join Woody and the gang. Toy Story 3. Whatever. On VHS, on Disney Video. So I don't know, that might have been 95 or 96 that these are from. I'm not trying to flex for all the Disney enthusiasts out there, but some people collect that shit. I don't have a Disney collection, but I have some stuff. Let me see. Oh, Gaston's on the chat. Daryl's in the chat. I see your Woody. How can you see my Woody, bro? You can't see my Woody. All right. That was a subtle flex. Just wanted to put that out there. Also, what would be interesting is since I can only stream in 480, this is what my setup currently allows me. I could only stream in 480p. I am relegated to low resolution. My life is in 480p. I'm trying to get to 720. I'm trying to get to 720. If I was at 720, we can do that. Hell, on Rumble and Twitter, I have to upload my YouTube vlogs at 720 because I don't know. I don't have the type of account that could upload high-def videos onto those platforms. See, so I'm not. See, once again, I'm not good enough for 1080p. But the audio sounds good, and the audio is the most important part, right? It's the most important part of the podcast is having clean, crisp audio. Now I know that Gaston's on the chat. Check this out, Gaston. You don't know about this? Did I show you this the last time you were here? Look at this. It's a Panasonic briefcase. I don't want to say the word because this is live stream. But I look like I'm a member of ISIS or something. Like this is gonna blow up on camera or something. No, this is a VHS camera, bro. VHS. I have the tapes for it too, and I have the batteries. There's a battery release here. Let's see. There we go. All right, kids, this is educational.
This is the battery. By the way, this weighs more than my iPhone, than my entire phone. This is like a brick of lithium. And we would put this, and it would only give you like 3 hours. Well, like 2 or 3 hours, right? If that. You click on there. This is the one my dad used to have. It's not the actual one my dad had. I ran that to the ground with all the videos that I shot in high school and college. I killed it, you know, but my dad wasn't filming very much anyways. But I found one on eBay that's the exact same brand. It's like, this was, at one point, this was somebody's dad in the 80s and 90s. Fuck it, even early, I think my dad shot family videos in the early aughts with this camera. DVD, the whole thing of, then we moved into the small tapes. DVDs, that was an era, guys. DVDs weren't that was I want to say it was a short-lived era, but now thinking about it, it kind of was. Because, you know, there's like 13-year-old Drake music videos on YouTube that are high def. And DVDs, what was DVD's popularity? I would say, when did Blu-ray come out? Like 2008, 09? I don't know. 06? Earlier? When were Blu-rays peak popularity? But DVD culture was awesome. I used to be, you know what? You know what's the first podcast? You know what are the first podcasts? DVD commentaries. DVD commentaries are the first podcasts. I remember watching that movie Magnolia and Fight Club with David Fincher talking over Fight Club and Paul Thomas Anderson talking over Magnolia. That was like, whoa, you know, expanding your mind in the world of cinema and, like, you know, artistic expression and content creation. Like, whoa. Before that, we just liked movies. We didn't really, I don't know, maybe it was just my age. I didn't really analyze movies that hardcore until that late 90s, maybe mid 90s, because I was in the generation that was introduced to cinema through Quentin Tarantino and Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs. So Pulp Fiction was like a seminal film for like a budding young creative person who, like, you know, you watch Arnold Schwarzenegger movies and Rambo movies your whole life, and then all of a sudden it's like you're in high school and then Pulp Fiction comes out. What? This is cool. It was a moment. But anyways, what I was thinking about is I think I can use these RGB cables or RGB cables, buy some sort of adapter for RGB to HDMI, and I can actually use this camera, I think, if I turn it on, power it. I wonder if I need a tape in there for it to run. But how cool would it be to have an angle of this podcast using this camera? Would that not be the coolest thing ever? It's like, oh, let's go to the fucking VHS cam. You know, let's see what it looks like on the. I don't know. It's an idea. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe it needs more thought. Maybe that idea needs to process a little bit more. Like, what would you? I see people doing that in vlogs, like some content creators intersplice VHS type footage into their vlogs. Casey Neistat did it the other day, and Devin Lee Carlson and her sister from LA, they're influencers or fashion people, social media influencers. Her vlogs sometimes I don't know if she's using a VHS filter, but it looks like real VHS. I think somebody's filming VHS footage of her and intersplicing it through her vlog, which is a cool idea. You know where that idea originated? The whole using multiple formats and shit. I have to say it because this was another movie that came out in my teenage years when I was like starting to analyze film right after Pulp Fiction is Natural Born Killers, Oliver Stone. Oliver Stone. It would be funny to watch that movie now. I have to revisit that movie. Natural Born Killers with Woody Harrelson and Juliette Lewis and Robert Downey Jr. That was one of his best performances before taking off after Iron Man. It would intersplice all these different flashes and all these different camera. There was like, he was not using video. He was using like 8mm. Some of the shots are 8mm and they're all like glitchy. And that was a great fucking movie. And then at one point, it was a 3-camera sitcom setup to tell Juliette Lewis's backstory. And Rodney Dangerfield was her abusive alcoholic father. And he was like, ugh, like all creeping on her. We need to do the susso-meter. That was filmed like a 80s sitcom. And it's a part of the storytelling of the movie. Like, we're going to tell her childhood as if it were filmed like Different Strokes. And that's the first movie that I started analyzing, like, different types of media purposely cut into your project or your movie, you know? Like, before that, I can't remember anything like that, at least in my limited knowledge of history, of cinema history at the time. So talking about the 80s and all that, this encyclopedia, I'll tell this story and then I'll end this live stream. Okay, let's see what I remember about this encyclopedia set. I asked ChatGPT. ChatGPT is my best friend. Right? It's my smartest best friend, but he only exists in the chat world. I asked him what year, if I have a 1985 World Book Encyclopedia, 1986. It's also a cool year to have an encyclopedia, right? 1986. What year would I have been? Would my family have been sold this set? And they say that they write the material for the book production probably a year before, so this is probably content from 1985 and before, right? But it did also, this volume, my mom, when she bought this set, she bought the set that they would, every year they would send you a yearbook in the same format, in this same leather bound. They also look really cool. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think they look fucking cool. And they're in pristine condition, and they remind me of, basically, I use this encyclopedia from, what grade would I have been in 1986? Let's see, I was 8 years old. What are 8-year-olds in? 4th grade, 5th grade, whatever. I just have so many. So how many book reports I did? I plagiarized. Let's keep it real. How many research papers I didn't really do all the research for and just kind of summarized it using this, or at least use this as one of my sources, right? I don't think that that was a Wild West, guys. You guys, ChatGPT, I can imagine what school is like for a 5th grader or a 6th grader with ChatGPT being a thing, with just the internet being a thing. Because like my 8th grade teacher, when we did book reports or research papers, he would specifically say you can't use the encyclopedia as a reference. So that's pretty much the 1986 version of you can't use ChatGPT. As a matter of fact, I don't even think, if the information in this encyclopedia is from 1985 and below, I don't even think, let's see. I'm going to take out the I. I'm going to look up the word internet on the World Book Encyclopedia. Give me a second. India. There's a lot of shit about India. No, insulin, insurance. Oh, God. Integration. Okay, integration. We're getting there. Integrated circuit is here. Integer, intaglio. Nope. I don't think the word internet is on this encyclopedia. There you have it, folks. There was no such thing as the internet when this book was in every family's home and was their reference for when they wanted to know something that was happening in the world or in existence or in life. This is their guide. This was their guide. I think it was it would be cool that, like, what other, maybe I should do requests from the chat. Like, I have letters E through L. Tell me to look up a word and I'll look it up and I'll read it live as I tell the story. So the person who sold this to my family in Pasadena, California, it was a door-to-door salesman. What's that? I'll tell you what that is. That was a guy who put on a suit every morning. He worked for a company, or maybe he worked for an organization that had different products to sell, and they were probably working on a commission basis, right? It's probably I don't know if door-to-door salesmen. They were probably like like Uber drivers. They were like independent contractors, right? Like, hey, if you sell like this amount of encyclopedias, this is what you get, right? So he'd put on a suit, he'd get in a car, and he'd drive to a nice, decent neighborhood in Pasadena, California. And he would get out and he would be like knocking on doors, just asking random people. It was like the equivalent of spamming. They were spamming you, bro. And he would get up and knock on your door and he'd be doing like, how you doing, fine lady? I am Jim, whatever, from something or other, and I'm from the Encyclopedia Company, and I would like to show you these books. Do you think you have 30 minutes of your time? And most people back in those days, well, let's keep it real. That guy probably got rejected at the door a lot. Like, nah, I don't want what you're selling, buddy. Get the fuck out of here. But my mom said, oh, okay, sure, why not? Like, my husband's here, my son is here. And I remember the gentleman coming into the living room table, and he was showing us all these brochures. I don't think he brought the entire encyclopedia, because like I said, they are heavy. So this was a tough fucking job, bro. If I had to sell, what is this, like fucking 300 pounds of fucking books by car to random strangers in a neighborhood, I think I'd go nuts. Like, Uber's a cakewalk compared to that job. Like, I have to sell books. But my mom entertained the guy, and I remember being like I said, I was probably 8 years old. I didn't understand it. I'm looking at the guy, talking to my parents and giving him the sales pitch, right? But I didn't know what was going on. I didn't even know if my mom even maybe she knew the guy. I don't know if the guy was safe. The guy was invited into our house, right? So as an 8-year-old, you're like, we're safe. This is not going to turn into a weird story of the encyclopedia guy abusing me. It's funny telling these stories in 2024, how creepy they are, how creepy they sound, right? Like a fucking stranger came to your house and your son was looking up to him. Anyways, I'm fucking dying here. He gave her the spiel, and I remember like being on the table. I was so young, and And my mom was like, oh, and you know, he can do book reports and, you know, this is that. And I'm sure he had examples like, let's suppose you want to know what the capital of fucking Wyoming is. Well, you know, this is just a tool for, you know, blah, blah. Remind you, bro, 1986, and I did have a computer. My dad, we had a 286 IBM. My dad worked in a bank with mainframe computers. He got me into the personal computers early. Like, we had a computer, but a computer from 1986, we're talking about like that movie Matthew Broderick, bro. It wasn't like a color screen or anything. It was like word perfect and like green letters, bro. Like, it was, that Matthew Broderick movie, War Games. It wasn't a computer you could do photo or video editing with. I think we need to explain that to children. Like, I think children think like, oh, you have a computer. Like, you could do everything that you could do on a computer today. No. It was basically for like spreadsheets and numbers. And it was computers back in the day were a way to keep databases and do your taxes. Some fucking people did their taxes, TurboTax. And word processing. It's basically like it replaced the typewriter for all intents and purposes in the common American household. It wasn't a machine you plugged into and had all the knowledge of the world available to it. These things were not connected to the internet. So you know, you might need some fucking books to tell you what the fuck shit is. And especially if you have kids that go to school and have to do book reports and shit. So here we go. And you want to know where's Russia? Where's China? Where's Japan? I mean, that's why I put the globe there too. The globe was an integral part of that. I think the globe and the encyclopedia go hand in hand. You know, because if I didn't know where something was, I mean, yeah, you could look up a map here, obviously, but we want to know what in relation how far things were. And I'm looking at the globe, and even the globe was limiting. Like you look at the globe. This is a new globe. I bought this. There's a video. I bought this for my nephews, but you know they're old now, and I guess it's my globe now. They can have it. I bought it for them because I was living with my parents at the time, so they were always in the house, and I wanted them to have like a study aid. But looking at this globe, it's very difficult to see, like, okay, Portugal, Lisbon. How far is it from Lyon, France? Like, you get some kind of reference. Like, oh, maybe there's a train that goes from those two cities, you know? Like, you know, in the United States of America, the idea of where Mexico was, where Canada was. You know, it's just important to have a physical representation of that for a young mind. I think globes I think every kid should have a globe. I mean, this is also, the cool thing about a globe is it's not only a map, this is a fucking planet, bro. This is a fucking planet. And I think it grounds an individual young person to kind of visualize spatially where he is in the world. This thing is spinning around the fucking sun, or spinning around in orbit around the sun, and we have a calendar and the days of the year and all that shit is based on all this, what is right in front of my hands and looks like a basketball. And where the equator is and what countries are closer to the equator. I don't know. I just think I'm a fan of globes. There's a globe company I heard that makes these like really artisanal, expensive globes. You know, like, I mean, we're talking about like a $12,000 globe that they're like hand. These are like strips on a ball, and they're like hand placed, and the accuracy is like the best. It's like a artisanal company from London. See, look, that wouldn't have never. I didn't count on that happening. This is a live stream. All right, let's see if anybody suggested any words. talking about? Pansexual ETs? What the fuck are you talking about? All right. I can't look up APRANet, guys, because Gaston says the internet was called APRANet, but I don't have the letter A here. It's downstairs. I got letter G here. I got letter G. Let's look up Google. Can we Google? Can we encyclopedia the word Google? I mean, it should be here, right? Because Google is a number, right? Googleplex. Golf. Government. Oh shit, it is here. Google is here. Let's read let's read what Google is from the encyclopedia from 1986. Google is the number written as 1 followed by 100 zeros, or 10 to the 100th power. A Googleplex is an even larger number than a Google. It is 10 to the Google power, or 10 multiplied by itself a Google number of times. The term Google was introduced by the American mathematician Edward Kazner. His 9-year-old nephew first used it. Well, there you go. So I wonder how many people read that in 1986. Who would ever encyclopedia the word Google in 1986? So some kid that was the nephew of the mathematician who came up with that number named it Google. And it's spelled Googol. It is not spelled like the way the search engine spells it. So I don't know. She bought me the thing. Another thing I could talk about with this encyclopedia is that a lot of science it had science projects built into it, and I did a few science projects. Sorry, I had a brain glitch there. There was a science project in the light. Yeah, I guess I could show it. And it's probably the early education of what light was. I think it was a 4th grade. Okay, so I did have this in 4th grade. Because I think 4th grade is when, maybe I had it in 3rd grade, and I think 4th grade is when I had that science project. And I remember my parents being so mad that day because I left it for the last minute and I didn't realize that a science project had to be something you'd probably been working on for weeks. So it came to like the last day and my dad was like so pissed that he had to build this thing, but he did it. Let's see. I think if I was on a more prepared podcast, I would know that I would be talking about this, and then I would bookmark it, but I have not. Okay, lighthouse, lighting, light. Here we go. Oh, here it is. Oh my God, this brings back memories, bro. This was a science project I did in 4th grade, and my dad built it exactly like this. Let me show it to you.
See what it was? It was like cardboard. He had to make that, he had to measure it out with cardboard. And that light bulb, my dad actually had one in the garage in California. He had a light fixture that was not being used. So all I had to do was get a coffee can, create like a little tunnel. And when you turn on the light, you had all these different color filters, and it would show how light behaves on a lens or something like that. I don't know. I don't even forget what it was, but I did that project in the 4th grade. All right, guys, you know what time it is? I think it's floating head time. It's floating freaking head time. I would love to have a little music playing in the background for when these moments occur. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. It never gets old. God damn it. The fucking mouse is on the other side. All right, floating head time. Huh? How's that for a professional looking podcast? Huh? There we go. Floating head time. Let's move the 40 sign. That's not it. I wanted to bring up some videos, but I don't know if I'm going to have time of shit that I was looking at. Why is my face below it? There we go. I'm just a floating head with a mic stand. Is the chat behaving? I haven't read it, so I'm not sure if anybody's said anything inappropriate. Hopefully not. Yeah, Gaston, it's dead air. You know what I should do is throughout the week when I Uber, I need to. This would be a segment where I can pull up videos and stuff when I just stream on my own. Let's see. What have I been watching? Let's look at my YouTube history. Maybe that's the best way to do this. Oh, the Chick-fil-A girl? The Chick-fil-A girl, bro. Isn't that funny? I don't think this thing can handle me pulling up my web browsers and stuff. It's just, I've done it before, but I'm not confident with my internet connection. I guess I could try. Okay, well, we've popped up my YouTube history. We've popped up my YouTube history. Oh, damn it. You know, life has been so difficult since I lost my mouse. Now you can't see my fucking face. I gotta get a new mouse, dude, because I need a mouse here. The trackpad sucks. Anybody who uses a trackpad on a Mac or a PC, you're a psychopath. How can you do this? I'm good with using my hands and figuring shit out with my fingers, and you can't work with a trackpad. You're working slow. You're working slow with a trackpad. You need a mouse, and you need a right and a left click, okay? Dead air. Fucking dead air. Ugh. You know what? Maybe this is too much? Yeah, that looks way better. I don't know why I had that other light there. And this light's too powerful. I need just to hang a light from the top. This is the arm and head podcast. All right. I'm going to leave the chat up there. You guys just behave. So this chick, this is like, we're in a really weird timing in history. And I don't know if it's that Chick-fil-A is behind the times or this chick right here that you're seeing right here, her name is Gina. She's the Chick-fil-A girl. She has this really weird clip of her working behind the corner at Chick-fil-A. She's not doing anything wrong. Well, let's just do it. Let's just play this one. It'll give you a history of what the fuck. It says she was fired from Chick-fil-A. Let's see. Man, my internet's really slow when I stream, man. This is not working, guys. I need to, I think someone in the chat recommended AT&T fiber. Is that what I need? I can't do this on wireless. Okay, so here she is. So tell me if you can hear it. I can't afford bandwidth, guys.
The Chick-fil-A girl is back, and we know exactly
Oh,
what
is it
happened.
playing?
So this girl was fired.
Okay,
from
she
working at
she
Chick-fil-A
makes
a few
this
days
face,
ago. This
and
all
she goes,
happened because she was being funny while serving
"No
a
Chick-fil-A
customer. However,
sauce,"
the
and
customer
it's
that
become a
took these
viral
videos was
thing.
her cousin.
Everybody,
This
even I've
also
done
wasn't the
one.
first time she did something
Everybody's
funny while
taken the
working,
audio
and
from
when
this
it went
girl's
viral
clip. I
on
think it was her
TikTok,
cousin, the
people
one that
started
filmed it.
noticing her at her Chick-fil-A. But when the manager
And
found out about
went
this, she
mega
got mad and
viral,
confronted her, saying she's using
and her
Chick-fil-A
boss
for
at
profit
Chick-fil-A,
by
just
going
like
viral
some
on the
standard
internet.
average
And he
freaking
ended
Chick-fil-A
up, like,
manager,
attacking me, saying I'm trying
probably,
to, like,
you know,
profit off
probably did what he
Chick-fil-A.
And this has upset a lot of
should have
people, and
done
they're not
probably
happy
and
with
say, hey, you know,
Chick-fil-A.
like
I thought
it's
I was
disrupting
fired,
your
but they
work
just
or
took
whatever.
me off
But
the schedule for now on.
bro,
And after Gina spoke out, some
Chick-fil-A
saying she was
is
fired,
getting
and the
so
manager then
much
decided
free.
not
They
to,
should be
while
paying
others
this
are
girl
saying the store
millions of
manager didn't
dollars
fire her directly,
for what they
however,
did.
by putting
You
her off
can't
the
do
schedule,
this.
they're
This
forcing her to
happens
quit without having to
naturally,
pay unemployment.
organically.
Either way,
This
everyone is
girl
telling
and
the
this girl,
Chick-fil-A girl
I've
to
seen
go
her
and sue because of
actual
constructive
TikTok after the
termination.
event, and she talks
The
about
Chick-fil-A
what's
girl
going
is
on.
back, and we know
She's
exactly
a
what
beautiful girl.
happened.
She
So
looks
this girl
haggard
was
there
fired
because
from
she's
working
working at
Chick-fil-A a few
Chick-fil-A,
days
bro.
ago.
She's
This
all
all happened
greasy.
because she was
Who
being
knows how
funny
long
while
she's
serving
been
a
working there?
customer.
She's just,
However,
her
the
hair's
customer
all
that took
frizzled.
these
They're in
videos
the
was her
weeds
cousin.
back there,
This
bro.
also wasn't the
As
first
a
time she did
DoorDasher, I
something
used
funny
to
while
used to
working,
go. It
started
was a
noticing her at her
madhouse.
Chick-fil-A. But when the manager
Yeah,
wanted her
that's
saying profit by going viral
Or
on the
the
internet.
bar.
They
You
ended
know,
up,
even
like,
if it's
taking me
playing, I
saying
don't know. I
I'm
don't
gonna,
have
like, profit
headphones
off
because it's
Chick-fil-A.
floating
And
head time. But let me stop it. Gee,
Right.
have a second.
Took me off
So
schedule for
let me tell you something. The really, she could be a movie star. When she makes that face, but Angelina Jolie made that face, she'd look that ridiculous. If Scarlett Johansson made that face, she'd look like an. You know, it's. Figure this out. Still, that week's old. This world. What you it exists. Fuck it. I hope it played. I don't know. I'll figure this out when it's. Anyway, it's probably better that way because I probably won't get hit for copyright strike. But, god damn it. Quit fucking Safari. God damn it. Chick-fil-A should have. Okay, somebody at Chick-fil-A corporate should have been like, "Hey, our name." This is like this. This would happen if. I hate to get dark here, but when there's like a mass shooting or a fucking terrorist attack or something, and it drags in the name of a McDonald's or a brand, you know, like when Nike, when that cult fucking killed themselves in those where was it? There was a fucking cult, the Heaven's Gate cult. They all killed themselves because they thought a spaceship was coming to save them, and they all drank Kool-Aid or something. I don't know. That's Jamestown. Okay, I'm conflating two fucking cults. But anyway, there was a picture of this cult, and they all wore Nike shoes, these black Nike shoes. They were called Nike Decades. And it was like a random generic Nike shoe, and it gained popularity. But anyway, when that story came out, there was like VPs on Nike and stuff that were doing damage control on the negative press that their brand is taking. You know, so the same team that takes crisis situations, what is that? I'm sure that's called something, right? Like a crisis, whatever, an emergency meeting of the boardroom, and like, how are we going to handle this situation? How are we going to address this situation? We have to denounce whatever happened. We denounce cults. We denounce terrorism. You know, if somebody blew up a McDonald's in fucking, I don't know, India or something. So there was a mass shooting at a Chuck E. Cheese, I think, one year in the 80s. And that was like a big thing. Like, because, bro, if there's a mass shooting at a Chuck E. Cheese, some nutcase stabs a woman at Chuck E. Cheese, and all of a sudden that news story goes out into the press, the country, this is before the internet, the country goes, oh my God, fucking they're stabbing people at Chuck E. Cheese. You know, there's a mass shooting at Chuck E. Cheese. We're not going to. That could affect the company for millions of dollars. Probably after that happened, for the next 4 weeks, nobody went to a Chuck E. Cheese because that story was in the news, you know? So the same people at these companies that handle that shit need to handle when something positive comes out with their brand on social media. Like this girl going, no Chick-fil-A sauce? You know? You need to take advantage of that. I would, if I was Chick-fil-A, I would have been like, okay, who shot the original video? Or take this girl, first of all, give her a fucking promotion. I think it was her cousin that filmed the clip, and she was like messing with her cousin. Like, she shouldn't be fired for that. Besides, they want you to be happy and personable at these jobs, right? I'd rather take the Chick-fil-A girl than the fucking lady at the Checkers here by the airport. I mean, we're by downtown Miami, who's like giving me attitude for wanting more fucking ketchup or something. Or, you know, the lady who works at Popeyes over here, who's like you're doing her the favor. You know, I would have offered thousands of dollars for rights to use that video. That's a viral video. You have these companies like when I used to do video content. How do you know what I used to do for the Miami Herald? Video aggregation. There's companies that buy clips like that. I'm sure they were approached. Viral Hog. What was the other one? Storyful kind of swallowed up a lot of those companies. But there was companies that started up in the early teens when viral videos were getting mass produced, not mass produced, but mass distributed on regular platforms like the Miami Herald, New York Times, Wall Street Journal. They would license these viral videos like, hey, man, we captured this fucking video that's giving you dying newspapers, hundreds of thousands of views because a guy caught a shark fishing off the Keys and it jumped into the fucking boat. Viral Hog would license that iPhone footage from the fisherman where that happened. And I'm not even in focus. And then they would distribute it. They would pay the guy. Sometimes I don't know. I used to know the details of this, but I'm just so far removed from that world. I think they would pay the original video creator a flat rate or to buy the video, and then they would license it to all these companies. And you had to buy it. And some of these newspapers, they were desperate for views. So if you were telling me like, hey, you can use the shark video in the Keys, but they're asking $60 for it, or they're asking $75 for it. Sometimes it's like a slow news day, and you're like, you know what? Or if it's important to a news story, like if it was a real shark attack or something, most media companies would just fork out that fee to these licensors once they attain the rights to use that video. So I think Chick-fil-A should have done that. I think Chick-fil-A should we need the audio, we need the footage, and you know what? This is even because maybe they can make like a Super Bowl commercial based on this chick. You have to take advantage of it, or get some comedy writers to make a new commercial and have the girl do the face. I don't think the girl should be punished or like, oh, you're goofing off on your job on your spare time, like you're not taking this job seriously. I don't believe she should have had any kind of reprimand. Now she did say there was a misunderstanding and they hired her back because probably they realized, holy shit, this is a good thing that happened to our company. Our name is not like Chick-fil-A doesn't have a line going around the corner of it anyways, but you know what I mean? Like Chick-fil-A's name is in the social media conscious for the last 4 weeks, and everybody's doing this. Famous people are doing the no Chick-fil-A sauce, and that is marketing and advertisement that you can't put a price on. Some companies try to do that and fail miserably. They're like, okay, we have this big studio. We're going to hire all this talent, and we're going to shoot these clips, and we have a social media team doing all the inner workings of this is going to be the clip we're going to put it as a sound on TikTok and watch it go wild, and then it fails. Nobody fucking uses that stupid contrived shit that you tried to formulate because you think you know how the populace thinks. It's just some random chick at a Chick-fil-A and her fucking cousin goofing off and just living life and having fun as two young girls. Where's the susometer? It's just two young girls having fun. Where's the susometer? I don't have it here. I gotta be more prepared with the susometer. There's just two young girls having fun at a fucking Chick-fil-A in a strip mall in nowhere, USA, and it takes the whole goddamn internet by storm, and it's got your name on it still. Like, I don't know. I just think companies need to wake up. We're like in this middle period, man, where there's still some fucking old ass people with suits. There's still some suits in charge of the fucking. I think they call it. I don't know. The young people on the internet call it gatekeeping. The gatekeepers, they're still gatekeepers. So you can't create the content you want because no one at corporate level would ever say yes to a podcast where you have a floating head in the middle and a sign that says Interstate 40. It has nothing to do with anything. They don't understand that. So they're going to say no. but the people, the populace, this is what we're creating. We're creating rough, unfinished, sometimes by accident things are created and they go viral. Like, bro, let's show this one. Fuck, I wish I could bring up TikTok here. Olivia Rodrigo, one of my favorites, right? Olivia Rodrigo. That store, everything ties to DoorDash. I used to do a lot of DoorDash orders for Crumble cookies. Well, Crumble cookies, let's see if I can log into TikTok. Crumble Cookies has a celebrity endorsement deal with Olivia Rodrigo for her new album or whatever, for her new tour, the Guts tour, and it's like a purple cookie that they sell at Crumble, and it's the Olivia Rodrigo, and some content creator on YouTube who probably, like me, probably doesn't even have 1,000 followers or wherever it was. He did. Some people do fast food reviews. I've done them. I did the chicken Big Mac when I was door dashing. I'm going to all these fast food places. Might as well create content around it, right? Like the Travis Scott meal, the Cardi B meal at McDonald's, the chicken Big Mac that came out. Like everybody was like onto that. But Olivia Rodrigo has this Crumble cookie, and this influencer dude is reviewing Crumble cookies on YouTube, on TikTok or whatever. And I think I saw the original video. I think he's tasting a whole group of the cookies, and he's rating them. And when he comes to Olivia Rodrigo's, he doesn't like it. He gives it like 0 out of 5 stars or something. And then Olivia Rodrigo herself uses that. This is a part of a longer vlog of him reviewing all these cookies. But when he gives it a 0 out of 3 or whatever, he uses Olivia Rodrigo herself uses this man's clip from TikTok. It's going super viral. All her fans go to Crumble Cookies now. Think about how genius this is. All Olivia Rodrigo's fans, which are all, let's face it, they're all like 12, 13-year-old girls, right? Parents hate her. Parents hate Olivia Rodrigo. Olivia Rodrigo is one of the only artists that a parent in the back asked me to change the station. I think I don't know. I'm not going to say anything about it. I think parents have their eyes open with Olivia Rodrigo. So this is an adult woman, but her fan base is like tween girls. So, you don't want a tween girl to get too crazy in those developing years. You know what I mean? Anyways, what am I talking about? I'm looking at the video and I see you guys can't see it. Hold on. Let me pull this up. So it's an African American dude who is doing the review, and he goes, Olivia Rodrigo, the little Mexican girl, 0 out of 5 stars. He says, the little Mexican girl that be crying. Let's see. Is it showing? Where the hell? Ah, damn it. Let me know if you hear it. Ah, damn it. All right. Let me know if you hear this. Okay, so this is the Olivia Rodrigo doing it. Yeah, my computer slows down when I try to do multiple things at the same time streaming. Olivia Rodrigo, that little Mexican girl to be crying.
0 out of 10.
You know, that guy didn't have a marketing strategy. Let's see. Let's go to the original sound. Oh, wait. A guy named Dre. Hold on. What the hell? Daily Mail. What the hell? Okay, here it is. Where's the original? The other thing I like about TikTok is they're showing love to the small creators who have the original sound. So it's like it's fair. It's fair use. And that guy's sound blows up. I mean, think about all the shit I've said in all my Uber vlogs, right? All it takes is for one stupid thing that I said to go viral on TikTok like that, get spread over like millions of people. All of a sudden, people click on my channel, like, who's this guy? Oh, he does Uber, blah, blah. All right, well, he live streams. And weird stuff. All right, I'll give that guy a follow. Why not? We're so starved for new fucking shit because the stuff, the internet was the Wild West back in like the middle of the aughts to like the teens. And then all of a sudden, the importance of the internet and social media became known to the big corporations. It's like, oh, this is a valuable marketing tool. But in actuality, the things that people use are typically the ones that are the most fun. We're not trying to sell something to you. We're just this is the way we're communicating. And it's fun, it's not serious. Why, shit.
Foto, mensaje, y nada me abre, nada. Uno me abre, otros no. Y estoy loca por el...
All right, hold on. Where's the Olivia Rodrigo? Okay. Sorry, this is dead air.
Olivia Rodriguez, a little Mexican girl, they be crying. 0 out of 10.
It's weird looking at TikTok on your browser. I don't know. Okay, I should have done more research on this. Okay, I was gonna go to the original guy who recorded that. I thought I could do it on the freaking web version, but on the phone it's easier to click on it. You click on the sound and it says original. This is the original sound. So, anyways. Props to Olivia Rodrigo for doing that. She blew up a small content creator, and all these YouTube videos I'm watching now, it's all about the small content creators, the people that are producing stuff right now, that I guess they're trying to give young channels advice because they've seen it and they've grown channels, like that guy Sean Cannell, he's always talking about. So it's like, there's a subclass of creator who's popular and who is let me switch the channel. Why is it still showing me Olivia Rodrigo? There's a subset of YouTube creator who's gone through the process of getting 1,000 subscribers and getting the gold play buttons and all that stuff, and now they're creating content based on the idea of selling a new creator kind of a roadmap of like, hey, look, I went through this shit. This is what you got to do. You know, top 10 things I would do if I was starting a YouTube channel today. Stuff like that. And it works out. All right, I think I'm going to sign out, guys. The Olivia Rodrigo thing, I hope you guys heard it. I don't know. I don't even want to check the chat because I'll just get frustrated. I don't want these things to turn into my Uber vlogs where it's just me ranting half the time. So I'm going to close the chat. I'm going to try to do these on the regular. I'm going to try to be more prepared, but sometimes not being prepared, it gives that added edge of, like I said, the rawness. I think that's what we're seeking on the internet. But now there is a limit to being raw. For example, it can't be, lagging so bad. It's got to be raw, but it has to be accessible. It has to run efficiently. I need a broadband connection probably. Because doing anything multiple. It's also this laptop is very, very old. And might invest in a new laptop and keep the same setup. My hard drive here is still on the fritz. I haven't gotten it to mount yet. Oh man. All right. What time is it? I'm going to go to the Miami International Airport and take people home. It's Friday, so Saturday. A lot of people are traveling for Easter. A lot of Easter travelers. People coming home to visit their families, visit their parents. So I'm going to freshen up and start doing that. Do I have anything to say about Uber? Probably not. Maybe should I stay away from Uber content on this? Probably. This is like more freewheeling, spur of the top of your head kind of talking about general things. But I'm going to take notes throughout my week because I have ideas of things that I could pop up and talk about. But whenever I have the chance to do one of these podcasts, I end up kind of spur of the moment. And it's a learning process, you know. I'm learning. So now I've done this one. This is my second solo one, whatever. Not going to bring the encyclopedia up here, the entire one. Maybe I don't know. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that. I do like the idea of reading from it with a guest. You know, like when we're not sure about something, instead of Googling it or looking it up, if it's something like really generic, like let's look it up on the encyclopedia. Feels better. I feel like I didn't finish a rant I was going on earlier about content. And so anyways, yeah, so the bottom line of the Chick-fil-A girl and the Olivia Rodrigo's crumble cookie thing, the lesson is you can develop this team. You like, I hate to call them out, but you know which one failed? Like, look at all the money Dunkin' Donut put on the Ben Affleck doing the commercial with J-Lo and Matt Damon, and they even hired like, oh, let's get Charlie D'Amelio in here. But it's like, okay, yeah, I've seen those ads. It's cool, but it hasn't gone viral the way they expected it to go. And think about it. You got Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, J-Lo, and then the top TikToker. And it's bland. It means it's the social media platform that's the star. It is creating these stars, but it's the what's the word I'm looking for? It's the ecosystem that they've set up. You know, a lot of people are selling shit on TikTok. Now, it's also the drawback. The drawback is now I scroll on TikTok and everybody's like, look at this. This is like the perfect freaking camera holder. You screw it in. You press this button. You can move the angle of the camera. You guys really need this. And then like under it, it's like a link to sell the fucking Manfrotto tripod vlog holder camera thingy, you know? And it's like, okay, like this is just literally a sales pitch that I didn't call for, you know? But as far as like looking into different forms of content, I look at TikTok all the time. And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know this podcast existed. Let me look it up. Then I'll go to another. It's actually doing really, it's probably TikTok. The other social media companies should not be mad at TikTok or try to take advantage or try to kneecap them. Like they should want the TikTok is directing traffic to other platforms, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. I guess they banned it, and they're in the works, or they're not banning it, but they're forcing somebody to take it over or something. I haven't really delved into it, but it's in the news. You can look it up. I'm not a newsman anymore. All right, guys, I'm going to get ready to Uber. So I hope those of you who joined me on the chat, thank you. To all my subscribers, and that's right, Willie, sub with a B. Willie hates it when I say that. and all my suscribers. We'll see each other later on I'm going to probably pull some shorts from my last. The other thing is I'm creating these 2-hour-long vlogs. I know nobody's going to watch 2 hours of a vlog. So I'm trying to put clips of my shorts from those vlogs, and maybe that'll direct traffic to them. You know, if you watch my 2-hour-long vlogs, God bless you. I wish there was 100,000 more of you out there, but for right now, I'll take what I can get, and I appreciate you guys for supporting my channel, even though it's got its ups and downs. You know, I used to vlog every day, but right now I can't do that because there's too much money on the streets. I'll end on this. Every minute that I'm not in that Tesla giving somebody a premiere ride, every time I'm doing something else, I see like a counter of money and it's going down. Like, let's see, it's almost 8 o'clock right now. Like, I could have been, this podcast cost me $150 minimum, you know? Like, I could have been out there. But I have to make time, you know? When it's the slow season, that's when I was vlogging every day, where it's like, okay, I know I'm working from this time to this time every night. The money's pretty much the same. And I have all morning to do all the editing and all the organization of everything. But now I don't have that time. So you got to get them I got to do them while I can, but I got to pick my times accordingly. So hopefully I can get somebody else back here, because I know just me, it's a little like I want to converse with somebody, you know? And I'm too blind and old to read the chat. And I want to get maybe my nephew here to help me out. So Austin or Kai, if you're watching, this can all be yours one day. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me, and we're out.